Okay, let's get down to business, learning CSS, and I have taken that index file in that CSS introduction folder from the last lesson. And what I want to do is I'm going to just make this useful for what we're going to do next. I'm going to copy that paragraph, and I'm just going to create 3 paragraphs with just the lorem ipsum. And I have an H1 learning CSS and an H2, and you notice I'm using brackets, and whatever I do over here is happening over here. If you load your browser through by pressing the lightning, it will bring the browser up, and it will be live to whatever you change in CSS or HTML. You will see it take place, and it surrounds what it has changed with blue, with a blue border. And then I just resize them so they're small and both can fit on this lesson. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an H3 tag, and I'm just going to put paragraph 1. I'm going to copy that, come down here, put it there, and there. Maybe put a space, and this will be paragraph 3. And this will be paragraph 2. And so now we're ready to get started with learning some more things about CSS. Okay, I'm going to bring in a website, and I want to talk a little bit about fonts. And I'm going to talk very simplistically to think of fonts as falling into 2 categories: sans serif and serif. Serif is the little extra that is on a letter. It's the little lines at the bottom of letters, at the ends of letters. And so sans serif is without the serif. So there are 2 categories. This website has 2 other categories: monospaced, which would be like a typewriter where every letter occupies the same amount of space, and then fantasy, which would be here it shows copperplate and papyrus, and then script, brush script, MT. The point that I want to make is we're going to start using fonts, and as we use fonts, we have to ask for in our browser a specific font, but we also want to give the browser fallback fonts. I may ask for a font that hasn't been installed on the computer, and in the old days, way back, it would just look like a mess, or the browser would try to guess. And so what I do is I create a hierarchy of the specific font that I want, and then I can carry it out as fallbacks. But the best way to do it is to end up in very general terms, even to where the last word is either serif or sans serif. You'll see what I mean. Okay, we're back in our work with our index.html file and an empty styles.css file. And I'm just going to set up a font for our p tags. And so I'm going to put in font family. And I'm going to set this up with Cambria. And I'm just going to put in a very common one, Times New Roman. And after that, I'm going to put in comma separates them, times, and then serif. And that is it. Now, what if we changed our H3 tag to a sans serif font? And let's go font family. And again, let me show you. If you look here, there are some impact as a font That is on 95.14% of Macs, but 0% of Windows. So if you were to use Impact as your web font, when it came to a Windows computer, it would never show Impact. It would always choose something down the line of your hierarchy. So you want to keep these things in mind when you are doing web design versus Trebuchet MS, which is on 99.6 and 97.12. So let's use Verdana, and let's our font family, let's call it Verdana, and I'm going to with a comma, and then let's choose Helvetica, which is a very common font, and then we'll type in sans serif. And if I move this out of the way, you can see that it has now changed the H3 elements to a sans serif